Hello Year 6, it's Miss Jobbins here with your, as you can see, newspaper report grammar resource slides. Now, we hope that you are working hard on your grammar resources, and I'm so proud of those of you who have logged on to this teaching point and are using it to support your learning. As you know, these grammar resource slides are to be used in conjunction. That means alongside your slides that you complete each day, as well as the day-to-day resources that you need for each of your lessons. As it says here, I'm going to show you how to use these slides, and this slideshow will help you with your newspaper report. Go through each day, going through it each day, you need to revisit it if you get stuck when drafting, or use it to upscale your writing. It can be also used as a tool to clarify and support your learning. So as you can see here, we've got a sort of like a glossary or an index showing you where you could find each of either the grammatical areas that you need to focus on, or maybe you'd like to recap on, or some areas that have just gone into further detail that are mentioned in the slides. So as you can see here, we've got headlines, subheadings and captions, the 5 W's, formal and informal language, third person, balanced or biased, fact and opinion. They have already previously been mentioned in your pieces of writing. However, we've included them again here, but this time just in a little bit more detail. The rest of them here are all grammatical terms, from adverbs and verbs to punctuation, are all grammatical terms or useful resources that you can use to support your learning, and that we'd also like to see elements of in your newspaper report, particularly things such as expanded noun phrases or fronted adverbials. We'd love to see some varied sentence structures, as well as that some aphorist, some similes and metaphors, as well as that maybe a use of show and don't tell. That would be really useful in your writing. So I'm going to take you very briefly through what each of the subheadings looks like, or each of the slides look like. And these should also be used, like I said, in conjunction to your daily lessons. So say, for example, you're learning in lesson 1 all about headlines and subheadings and captions. You might think, okay, I've read a little bit in the teaching points, so I've heard a little bit in the teaching points about those, but I'd like some more information. You know that you can come to this grammar resource to support your learning. So each of these slides will have some information. For example, it will tell you a definition and maybe give you an example. It will also sometimes ask you for a little activity. This is to help reinstate and make sure that the areas that you're not so sure about really stick in. So if you do complete any of these activities, ladies and gentlemen, please don't hesitate to upload them to Class Dojo. We'd love to see your work from the grammar resource as well. We've then got subheadings and captions. Now, as you know, we worked on these in our first week of learning, and also in our second as well, in our non-chronological report. But there's also just a reminder on what we need to do in these subsections as well, in these subheadings. As well as that, you will be adding some captions in your newspaper article. So you need to remember some diagrams in your newspaper article, so you're going to need some captions for your illustrations. And of course, any newspaper might, for some of them, have subheadings, so you might want to make sure that you log into those as well. So you've also got the 5 W's explained in further detail and what each of them mean. It then takes you through what is formal and informal language, thinking also of third person and the present tense. Here where you see these underline margins, that means you can just click at those and they will take you directly to a video. You've also got some examples of formal and informal language. You've then got writing in the third person. As you can see here, there's a video for you to have a go at as well and watch that. But just by clicking on the link on the grammar resource slide, it will take you directly through to that website, where it will also have some activities for you to complete. That is the same with our bias here. It's got some teaching resources and also some videos for you to watch. You can have a go at the activities on the website as well and let us know how you get along. Same for fact and opinion as well. It tells us the difference between the two and a clear definition. As well as that, will give you a very detailed video from, I think, BBC Bite Size, which also has an activity which you can get on with. It then breaks it down to things such as adverbs and verbs, giving them what they are, and then it gives you 2 sets of activities where you can log on to these websites just by clicking and using your Study Zone login, which will be absolutely fantastic. As you know, we're still looking for those Study Zone superstars each day and each week. You can then also have a go at the activities, worksheets that are also there, and they also come with a little answer sheet, so please don't forget to self-assess your work. As well as that, some of them may also contain interactive games where you just click on the link on this page and it will take you directly to a game where it will also mark it for you. Please remember you can use Study Zone to support your just general revision as well. It's a really useful free website for you. You also then have video clips such as this and then little activities as well after it. So can you have a go at writing an expanded noun phrase about these animals? As we said, if you do have a go, pop it up on Class Dojo. We'd love to see. It then breaks it down as well. You have things like relative clauses, which again, you can have a go at little tests here on the Study Zone website, as well as BBC Teach provide you with some revision on relative clauses. It then breaks things down such as the smell, which explains the short, medium, and elongated sentences. In any form of newspaper article, it is always vital to see important things such as smell being included, and we will be looking for those, okay? As well as that, I will give you a small activity to crack on with here. Again, with the same as fronted adverbials, you have some Study Zone logins, some also websites you can look at, and as well as that, it gives you an example and a definition. Here, it also provides you with some useful words that you can use throughout your article. Some useful ones to just broken down into different subheadings, which also help. As we know, fronted adverbials are words or phrases at the beginning of a sentence which are used to describe the action that follows. So it's always good, particularly if you're doing something like a newspaper article, you can use it of maybe something happens one day and then maybe something happens the next day. You can use perhaps time adverbials or time connected or fronted adverbials about time as well. They're quite useful. There's also some other ones here that might be able to support your learning. It also breaks down what are adverbials for you, giving different examples, and also adverbials for cohesion. They're very simple, similar to fronted adverbials. However, adverbials for cohesion show time, place, number, exception, cause and effect, contrast or comparison, clarification or emphasis or addition. And they are words or phrases that are used to modify a verb or clause. Adverbials may be adverbs, prepositional phrases, or subordinate clauses. Adverbials can be used to create cohesion, so that's making sense within and across paragraphs. So you can basically link paragraphs or words or sentences together. You've also got your use of a forest. You should know that by now. We use this all the time. Some of these are broken down for you that we'd really like you to use. As you can see here, it's an example and a definition, and also some websites that you can have a look at, particularly this incredible alliteration song. We know how much you all love alliteration, year 6. So please make sure you are accessing this to support you further. There then is a nice little alliteration activity that you can get on with as well. There's also similes and metaphors broken down for you, including definitions and examples, and a nice website for you to crack on with, as well as the same for personification. It then also gives you examples of tone words and categories and tone words to use. Say, for example, if you're describing something or you are describing a certain moment in time or how someone felt, these might be able to support you in your writing as well. It also asks you to use some forms of elements of show, don't tell, particularly in a newspaper article. You might like to introduce your writing using show, don't tell, or show, not telling. They also provide you with a sort of setting the scene. That's always useful in a newspaper article, particularly if you're setting the scene for the opening paragraph. They also give you some examples as well, and it breaks it down here in a lovely poster for you as well. You've also got inverted commas. Now, we are expecting to see these running throughout your piece of writing, ladies and gentlemen, so please make sure that you are including them. If you'd like to know more about inverted commas, please have a look here on these videos, and there's also some set activities for you on the BBC Bite Size website. This post will also break it down for you for a form of revision, as we know that we've already covered these in class, not covered these. I do apologise, my little stammer there. So we've also got things like emotive language. You'll be using that particularly if you're explaining something inside your newspaper article or you're trying to set the scene. You want to make sure that you're using that emotive language throughout to really engage and hook your reader. You want them to want to read more and be engaged in what they are reading. There is examples here, and then it also provides you with a little activity for you to complete. We also have some other useful sentence openers and different sentence types, which will help support your learning further. As well as that, it breaks down what are connectives and conjunctions, also supplying you with some examples. These are broken down in the definitions, examples, and then there are some little activities that you can have a go at as well. It also provides you with some other examples that you can use without your work. These will be really important if you're trying to bring the two sentences together. Same with the time connectives and conjunctions as well. These will be useful at the start of your sentences, just like I explained with the fronted adverbials. You also have some word banks that you can use. These will be particularly, as I said before, useful when you're writing your when you are doing your work and you're wanting to include some words to also add that bit more of excitement and that bit more of tension. You might want to pick one of these and get yourself a thesaurus and up-level it even further. It also provides you with the newspaper word writing mat. We'd like to try and see as many of these as we possibly can throughout your work, so please don't forget to include them. It also reminds, a quick little reminder, because this is one of the key things that we need to all work on in our class, ladies and gentlemen, is something that looks like this, which is your punctuation breakdown. Now, these will take you through exactly what each of them are used for and how to use them. And finally, last but not least, if you are not familiar with this, you need to make sure that you're feeling really, really super confident. This is your features, so your success criteria. You need to remember that you need to include this throughout your learning, making sure that you're ticking it off as you go along. And have you decided to challenge yourself? Hopefully you have. So I hope this breakdown of the grammar resource has been useful for you. And if there are any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Have a lovely day. Bye.